Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Leg Hot Rods. Today we're still doing some body work. I know it's really exciting, but sanding is part of building a car. Body work is key, making it look good. Makes the painter look great. And I'll be the painter, so I'll take that compliment. Anyway, we're just still at it. And like I said, it's really coming along. The back half of the car is good. In a spot where I feel comfortable priming it. I've still got just a few minor little touches on the back end and it'll really be finished up. I started working on the bumper and we got that in initial body work. And once the primer gets on, we'll continue blocking it. So we'll get flipped around here, but just want to say thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I hope you enjoy the video. So I went through and welded an edge to my bumper here to add material. I've got too much of a gap. And on this end, the bumper's it's been into a million different pieces, so just got to kind of piece it back together and get the gap right, and that's what it's going to take, welding to this edge. I'm kind of slowly tapering down to nothing here. I got a little more wedge to add, a little more piece to add here, and get it nice and tidy. I think I'm headed in the right direction. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of trim this part out so that it'll fit snug to the body. I kind of got it drawn out a little bit there. I'm just going to kind of sneak up on it. I'm trying to get it like this all the way down and try to come back to this edge here. So I'll pull the bumper back off and we'll do that. And like I said, I think I'm heading in the right direction here. And I'm thinking also that I want to take these ends and bring them in and cut them off right here at the edge of the body, so that they're just a continuation of the body and they don't hang out past the car. So that means I'm gonna have to do the front too. So of course more work, more metal work, but I think in the end it'll look a lot better. I think it'll look tidier right here, nothing hanging off the side of the car. And anyway, I was gonna bring these in and scoop them around anyway. So I think just that bulge on the side of the car is gonna look a little out of place. So I'm gonna probably cut these off once again and suck them in and go from there and just kind of cap them off somehow. So we'll get that once I get the bumper straightened out and the gap right, and then I'll come back and cut the ends off, and we'll do the same thing on this end here and cut it off and get it flushed up, get it kind of try to follow the body. Kind of comes around this turn, so I may try to follow that turn and just kind of do it like that, or come out here and just kind of curve in and continue the car to the car. Still haven't decided that yet, but I'm not quite at that point yet, so still got some thinking about it to do. But we'll get this taken back off and start getting some metal work done to it. So I've gone through and I keep trimming back on this bumper. I bet I've taken it off about 4 times now, and getting this gap nice and tidied up. It's getting consistent, still not quite there. Got a little paint stir stick, and right here is probably the best gap that I want to keep. The rest are really tight, so I just want to come back and keep tuning on it. Got a little more here to get out of that. I just don't want it to be extremely tight. You know, I'd like a nice consistent gap with using this as the guide with the doors. I'm using this as a guide for the doors, and I just figured I'd just keep that gap consistent all the way through the car, bumpers included. So that right there is where I want to be. So I'll just hold this up and just go along and trace on it and see how that goes. It's still kind of low right here, and I'm not sure if it's the body inconsistent with either side, or is it my bumper? Maybe a little bit of both. So I'll tune on that a little more. So I've kind of evaluated the situation here, and I think what I'm going to do is put in another relief cut. I put this relief cut in because I think I put a laser on it, and this line is fine. Car's level. This line is really nice and level. It's the bumper. So I decided to cut relief here, and I'm going to bring this up and I'm going to cut in here as well and kind of open this up to raise it up to match this line here and help bring it into that curve so it'll match. There's kind of a step there, and I want it to be perfectly flush. So better material. The more I add on here, the bit less filler I'll have to put on the bumper to make it true. It'll need filler. It's pretty rough, but that's just my metal skills, best I can do. Just grinding and hammering on it, and it's getting into shape. It really is. So like I said, we'll cut here and we'll bring this up And let's see if I can get to match that body line a little better. So I've added the relief cut, and now if I come in here with a little screwdriver, I cut, kind of just wedge up on it a little bit. And it really does. I want to try to keep this from diving down, but that right there is how much it's got to come in. And I think it's just from, I noticed when I cut this, it kind of just pointed back together, or kind of it was tight. It was tension, a lot of tension in it. So what I think I've done is I welded it probably got it a little hot. That's probably what it was. It was in a million pieces. So if I stick a screwdriver in there like that and keep something up on this end, that really does help bring it in to match that body a lot better. Even through here, the curve kind of comes into place. So, yep, we'll go ahead and probably put a piece in here because that's a big gap to fill. I'll weld that first, and then I'll bring this up to match. I may have to come back in and cut into here, but we'll see. I may be able to bring that up. That's it's matching the other side really well, so I want to bring this up a little bit. I don't want to go up higher than that. I just want it to go right into it flush. So that's what I'm looking to get after. So once all this is cleaned up and welded and finished up, it'll look a lot better. Kind of looks like garbage right now, but it's part of the process. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that in there. I'm gonna go get the welder set up, and we'll buzz this together real quick just to kind of keep it where I like it. Well, after a lot of grinding and cutting and banging on with a hammer, I think I've got it into the shape that I'm really pleased with. I've still got just a little bit of work to do on the edge. But overall, man, that's pretty dang good considering this is about 30 pieces of different bumper parts and pieces. I've got Corvair section. I've got a handmade section. This is part of a Falcon so that it follows the curve of the taillight. It's been widened and smashed and closed up and reopened, and I'm really happy with the results of this. Just got a little bit of material here to add to close that up a little bit. Just a little bit of shape to put in it right there, but I cut the end off, and I think that looks a lot better compared to this side that kind of bulks out a lot. I really like this a lot better. It still comes out a little bit, and I still need to fix the bottom edge. It still comes out a little bit, and I can still get my finger underneath that bottom edge, but I'm gonna tighten that up a little bit, add some material in there, and make it look like it kind of dives into the car. And like I said, I got to close this gap up a little bit, but I mean, shoot, I think it looks pretty dang good overall. I was a little concerned with how much it stuck out, but I really don't feel like it's terrible at all. I mean, I'll get the taillights will come out a little bit. So it's not terrible. That taillight kind of fills that void up. Obviously, that's what it's for. But I'm happy with the way that bumper sticks on there. The factory one was probably further out than that and had a fistful of gap between it. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I think I'm going to sit with it. And it's good. It's got a good taper front and back. This part here, and then that part dives in equally as far as comparing both sides. So I feel really good about it. It will need some fill work, and I knew that, but it's like I said, it's a million different pieces. So unless you're an expert welder, and I'm not, feel pretty good about it. Actually, you can see that line there. It kind of flows out and fits real nice. So pretty happy with that. I'm gonna catch this other corner up with this passenger side. Got the little wedge I cut out of it right here, and that's how much I pulled that corner in. Good amount of progress on that bumper. That's really catching the back end up, and it really, other than a little bit more mud work, it really finishes up the back end a lot. Every step of the way it was fighting, so just got to fight back, fight harder. But anyway, let's keep on getting after it. We got some motivation now. Moving right along with this bumper. It's been a lot of back and forth, but it's probably been on and off 30 times just today. I don't think I'm exaggerating, but I'm getting to where it's really, really close. And I made a pattern for this corner here. This corner, get all that out of the way so you can kind of see. This corner is where I want it. That's what I want it to look like. And I'm trying to make the passenger side or the driver's side look the same. And it's kind of difficult. But I made a pattern I can use to kind of hold it up against the body. And it's touching the body, touching the quarter, and touching the back corner of the bumper. So if I go to the other side and flip it over, it is not anywhere close. So I've got some work to do here. I think what I've done is I've cut it too short here in this corner, and it's diving in too much. It's not, this right here, it's not squared off enough. So this right here needs to come out here and kind of basically just rock this whole corner in and better match up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it off one more time, and then I can finish up this spot here and get this nice and close to the body and tightened up. And I mean, it's looking really good. It's really close to this line here. So I'm going to make a template of this, and I'm going to put filler on this because it's going to be painted anyway. I'm not chroming anything. So it's going to be treated kind of like the body, and it'll be body worked and smoothed over. So all these little bitty imperfections that I am not going to fight to get out, I'm just going to smooth it over with some filler and call it good. I don't see any problem with that at all. So, it's not going to be an inch thick or quarter-inch thick. It probably won't even be, in some spots, 1/16 or 1/8. at the thickest, and that's pushing it for me. I don't like it that thick, but this bumper was a lot of work and a lot of pieces, so it's just testing my skill level, getting it straight. It's frustrating, but it's worth the fight because of this is the results, and if you can see it in person, it's a lot better. I think it shows up in person a lot better than it does in camera. It's really nice and tidy, and all these little dips. I think that's what makes it unique as far as when I've seen this modification. Not very often, but I have seen people put these sliver bumpers on Falcons before. And the thing that I see no one does is they don't put this dip in there. This is from the original Falcon bumper, and it thins out this Corvair portion here and thins it out and kind of makes it blend back in like it was meant to be here. And it really, if you follow these lines here, it really does help kind of tie it into the car and make it not like I just put a bumper on there. This actually makes it look like it was stamped and put on here originally, at least in my opinion. Yeah, I feel like it really helps tie it in. But overall, it's looking really good, and just a little bit more work on this corner, and we'll get it straightened out, and we'll get it finalized. We're going to start working on the driver's side here. I want to try to get this dent out of the door where it was hit with a boat by just being packed up and put in the wrong place. Put the boat right into the door. So it's not too bad, but it's just right on the curve of the damn door. So it's kind of aggravating because it's going to be a pain in the butt to get to, first of all. And then I'm not the best at hammering out these waves like that. So it's, stretch the metal. So it's going to be a fight to get it back to decent shape. So we'll see what we can do. And then I'll also go ahead and strip the middle part of this quarter panel here where I shaved all the trim. And we'll get some fresh body work on that because it's pretty old. It's been sitting out in the weather. And I just want to make sure there's no rust underneath it forming through the years. So we'll go ahead and get that done and wrapped up as far as first coat of Bondo and body fill and get it ready for some primer. So let's go for that. And then maybe if we get more time, we'll go ahead and sand this bumper down, get it to bare metal, get the rest of the chrome pieces off of it, and get a coat of fill over that as well. First thing I want to do is get this, use my stripping disc. I'll strip all the paint off this, get it down to bare metal, and that way we can try to highlight some of the spots we need to work on with the hammer and dolly. Try to get that metal straightened again. So we'll see what we can come up with. It's not my best talent, so we'll see how much we can screw it up. I got to say that stripper makes pretty short work of that. In real time, that's about 12 minutes. Strip the whole side of that car down the middle. One wheel will probably strip the entire car in, maybe an hour, 2 hours tops. But we don't need to do that. I'll probably use it on the roof too. Once I get it to where I can use this as less of a storage area and more of a project car. So we'll get that cleaned off probably after we do the other side, and probably get some dings and dents in that too, just from using it over the years. So anyway, we'll concentrate on this. I did find some rust underneath where the original trim was. I shaved that off years ago because it's pretty hard to find this trim in good shape. It's all pot metal as opposed to some of it being stainless. So we'll treat this rust and we'll start working on this door, and then we'll get, it was a lot of filler, unnecessary amount of filler on there that I put on there years ago. So that's what I wanted to do, investigate that, make sure it was done right, because I don't want to do it again. So it didn't need all that filler. I did a terrible job welding and warped the shit out of the panels. Try to get in there and get a hammer and dolly on it and try to bring it back out a little bit. It shouldn't be an impossible task other than in here because there's hardly any access. But overall, it's pretty good shape. Yeah, let's get to it. Got to get this cleaned up first, and then we'll get on it. I actually did find a little corrosion spot where it has gone through the door, so I'll probably end up cutting this out. And unfortunately, right here too, probably cut that out and put a patch in there. Let's weld this up, and I'm going to put some rust inhibitor on this and try to convert this to where I can treat it and get it primered. I'm going to go ahead and do the key lock as well. I'll probably just end up drilling this a big circle. Be a little piece I need to tap on the dolly with, or tap on the, get a little shape in it and weld that in there. But I'll do all that at the same time. And probably go ahead and get some rust converter on this first, let it be sitting, or let it kind of do its thing, and then start hammering and dollying on this door and see what I can get to on the rest of this quarter panel. So overall, it's looking pretty decent. I did find a couple little holes, and a lot of that was all buried under filler. So I'm glad I went this route, and I can get that fixed because moisture would have gotten in behind that filler. It would have let go, and over the years it would have rusted and ruined the paint job. So that's why you're supposed to do it right the first time, and I did it incorrectly. So got to backtrack. It is what it is. Probably do the other side too, and I know I'll probably find the same exact problem, pinholes and rust. So we'll fix it. Let's get on it. Not too shabby. Jumped ahead. So I jumped ahead and patched this hole. It was pretty ugly, and I still got some grinding to do. Pretty obvious. Went ahead and patched a couple of holes here. Door lock is gone. It looks that's pretty good repair right there for a MIG welding sheet metal. I don't have much choice. So yeah, get it ground down and get it ready and try to hammer on it. I got to order a part from a spot welder, so I'm gonna wait on that and may try to go through there and hammer and dolly a little bit. But their door brace runs about right there, so it's going to be nearly impossible for me to get a hammer on the backside of these. So I'm gonna have to get my stud gun and pull them out a little bit and work them a little bit better instead of just slapping filler on there. I think that would be the better solution. At least try. So I'll go to the back here. I got some dollying I can do on the back where I can get to the quarter panel, and we'll do that. And may go ahead and shave the lock on the other door just to get ahead of myself a little bit. So little by little. All right, so I went ahead and applied another layer of filler here over the quarter. I was able to beat out most of the dents here along this edge. And it's just a lot of hammering, so I didn't really feel like filming that, but just try to catch back up. I couldn't get in here because the inner workings of the quarter area just don't allow any room for a hammer. So they weren't really as bad as the back end here. So Yeah, I just called it a loss. And I got rid of a lot of the filler that was in it though, and I got rid of the rust that I discovered. So I really feel like I'm a step ahead with that anyway. So the door, I'm gonna try to work on it when I get part from a stud gun tomorrow. I'm gonna work on this area here. I've stripped the paint so it's harder to see, but I'm gonna highlight it with some dye chem or something like that and try to see if I can get the highs and lows down a little bit better. But the rust has been treated, so it's neutralized, and I'm gonna go ahead and scuff it and get it ready for work tomorrow. Got rid of the key lock. That turned out nice. It's a little bit high right there, but that's from some of the weld. So we'll work on that a little bit better and get the grinder on it just to touch it a little bit, but it feels really good. And like I said, I'll probably catch up the passenger side door. I think I'm gonna leave those for now, but I may rig up something as far as a handle on the inside and just go ahead and get rid of them and be done with it. But I wanna be able to get to the door, open the door easily without, just because I'm still working on the car, I don't want to have to fight to get in and out of the thing. So it's really about all there is so far. Like I said, once this gets tacked up, I'll start sanding on it, and then we'll get this quarter back in better shape. And I'm gonna go ahead and do some grinding on the back bumper while I wait on that to dry. And really, truly, the back quarter, lower quarter of the car will be done, or the back half of the car will be done, save for the roof. And the front sheet metal is pretty easy to get to, and all it'll come off, so I can work on it a lot easier. But coming right along with the body work, and I'm pretty happy with it. So let's keep going. So we're steady making progress on this car. Got the driver's side jammed pretty well in the condition that I want it for before I prime. I didn't choose to cap that off because I wanted to make some room, make sure I had room for the door jamb to be adjusted. Just focusing on the body work. You can see I've got a lot of mud work I've been doing, and a lot of it is on the ground. But anyway, passenger side jam's caught up as well. I will need to put a layer of filler on that just to catch it up with the other side. And short of the roof being done, the back side of the back end of the car from the doors back is done. As far as the first stage, let's call it that, first stage before prime. Of course, it'll be blocked again and again and again, at least 2 or 3 more times before it's nice and to where I want it. I just want to make sure it gets nice, get a good prime on it, and just waiting on a tool to arrive in the mail, and we'll get on it with the spot welder on this door. I'll probably go ahead and do the bumper today too and get it nice and worked on. And I may start go ahead and sanding the roof and try to see if I can find any dents and dings. And it's not bad at all by any means, but I know I've laid stuff up there and caused more problems. So probably go ahead and do that, and just let's see what we come up with. Good job pulling that out so far. Still right here dives in, so I'm gonna come just straight across that and just pull up. It goes deeper here, and it's a little bit here, and there's a little bitty ding here. So I'm gonna get a marker and mark that so I can kind of keep track of what I'm doing here. The dent is actually up in here. Really, that's the lowest spot there, so I'm gonna try to hit that. Whether it's the right way or not, I don't know. This is what I'm gonna do. gonna get in behind it, but there's a crash bar right here and there's no access, so next best thing right here, I guess. It's really pretty wild how much that comes out that easily. All right, let me get me some safety goggles. It's a little lumpy, but it's a lot better. Here's a bad spot. I'm going to put another stud in there, yank that a little bit. I'm curious to see if we can reuse this old stud. I don't think so, but we'll see. Maybe. I don't know if it's going to hold on as tight. I didn't think so. Really, pretty good actually. All right, let's see what we got. Go ahead and get this sanded off and see what the door looks like. say it is a lot better, but it's pretty obvious. There's still quite a bit of low right here. Now, unfortunately, I'm not gonna make this perfect. I'm gonna get it close and minimize my fill. Short of replacing this door is really probably the best option, in my opinion. Right or wrong, I don't know. That's a little bit high right there, but just want to minimize the fill. Car's got fill in it. I'm not afraid of using body filler, but just don't want to cake it on. I'm not building a car out of body filler. It's just perfecting the body, that's all I do. And with limited access, you really don't have much of an option. Like I said, short of replacing a door or building a new panel. Gotta do what you gotta do with what you got. It's not a high-end show car, so I don't really care. It's my car. Anyway, I mean, I'm still happy with this. The results are a lot better. That was a pretty good little cave in from a boat, a pontoon boat. So the pontoon shoved in right here. It's a lot better, But the metal is stretched, unfortunately, and you know, so you can't always get it all the way out. But I'm still going to work on it a little bit, get a little bit here and there, and just, you know, some pulls. It's working. It is. It's a slow process. We'll keep at it, and we'll come back here in a minute. So I've gone ahead and went over the top of the bumper here with fiber fill. I figured since it's probably about 3,000 pieces by now, it's been cut and sectioned and welded and cut and sectioned, that it's probably better to get some fiber fill on it, and I feel like that kind of gives it some strength. And I'm hoping my theory's right, because not to waste a lot of time and material, but that's what I see a majority of people will put over their welds and things of that nature. So I'm just going to go through here and went ahead and cleaned it up. I've got it wiped down and cleaned from all the fill dust, and there's quite a few little low spots. You can see the discoloration that's a lot lower than the other piece here, than this surface here. So go ahead and get some lightweight fill on it now and just skim over that. I'm gonna skim over the entire thing. It's gonna look like crap before I get done, but this looked like crap before I sanded it. It was just a mess. So, we'll get some fill on it and get it sanded, and we'll keep making some progress on this bumper. All right, so as you can see, I got the center part of the bumper really nice and slicked up. Two little spots here. I just got to do a little touch-up spot. Got a little bit of here and there. Just got to get it slicked up. It's nothing to it. It's just a little touch-up. Good. I got the top and the bottom portion of the middle of the bumper going really nicely. It really turned out good. Along the side of the body here and down to the door. I'm working on the door right now, and just gonna get it cleaned up and tuned up, and we'll keep moving forward. I got the top edge of the door done, and started getting this body line crisp, and we laid out a string along this body line to kind of try to see if I can get the doors lined up, and it wasn't straight. So I kind of went into a little bit of a panic and backed up and thought about it. And when I did my wagon, I remembered there wasn't really much of a straight line to this. It looks straight, but it's got a gentle curve all the way down and tapers on both bottom and top towards each other, towards the back especially. So I'm just gonna line up these body lines here. Obviously that would be the focal point of the door, front and rear, and I'll line up the fender to that, and then we'll just make the gaps what I want them. They're kind of big anyway from the factory, so any kind of tightening up you can do to that will make it look a heck of a lot better. So I didn't body work around the door handle because I'm going to get rid of it, so I didn't want to get too close and weld and then melt my filler. But you know, still got some sanding to do. I'm going to skim this door today and start working on moving my way forward and get on the fender there where I've shaved the trim off. And this is all that is. This is where I've shaved the trim. There was a little bit of rust in the center of the door, which is a weird spot, but that's where the trim collected a bunch of garbage. So, you know, where garbage and trash and leaves collect, rust will as well eventually. But moving along. Door jambs in good shape, and body work and pretty smooth. The filler I have is that high build 2K, so hopefully that should build up and fill in on a lot of the scratches that I've got in the car, because it's in, I think I stopped at 180, which is kind of aggressive, but help the primer stick. And once I block the primer, I'll re-block it with a lighter grit it'll get those scratches out of there and fill them in. So we are making progress. That's all I'm about. So let's keep sanding, and we'll try our best to make a decent video out of it. All right, well, as you can see, I'm completely covered in dust, and that is the result of today's work. What a mess. So it is what it is. Today, I think it was going to be a wrap. I got an event this weekend, and I'm not going to be getting to work on the car or any, but that's okay. It is what it is. It's life. Just going to call it for today, for this weekend, and we'll get back on it here on the next set of days off, and keep sanding. We got the door pretty well wrapped up. I added a little bit of fill to the fender there, just where some trim was, and pretty well got the bumper the way I like it. I went back over it with a little skim just to fill in some of the holes, and it's coming along pretty nice. So I went back over the back bumper there with a little skim fill and just filled up any little air bubbles that had popped up, and got it nice and filled in, and that'll be painted, an accent color, of course. Got the door done and the front fender. I got a little mud on that as well, and just moving right along. So appreciate you guys watching Big Lake Hot Rods. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.